Hello everyone, welcome to our full product review for the AORUS X5 V6-PC3K3D. To kick things off, we need to go over the specs of the device, starting off with the CPU, which is the Intel i7-6820HK. The GPU inside is the NVIDIA GTX 1070 with 8GB of GDDR5. Memory inside is 16GB of DDR4 RAM, which supports up to 64GB. Storage inside is a 256 M.2 NVMe SSD and a 1TB 7200 RPM hard disk drive. There's also the Killer Gaming Network LAN with integrated wireless 801.11 AC plus Bluetooth 4.1 M.2. Powering it is a 200-watt AC adapter. There's also a built-in HD webcam above the 15.6-inch IPS 3K anti-glare matte type LCD screen at a resolution rate of 2880 by 1620 with G-Sync at 60 Hz. On the left side of the device, there is one display port, a covered HDMI port, two 3.5mm headphone and microphone ports, and one Type-C 3.1 USB port. On the right-hand side, there is an SD card reader, two USB 3.0 ports, and an HDMI port. And on the back side of the device, there is an Ethernet port, one USB 3.0 port, and the AC adapter power plug-in spot. As for the keyboard, the membrane of the keys are good and tactile, but not quite as nice as its bigger brother, the X7. The backlighting program included for the keys has many options for customization, including breathe, wave, marquee, ripple, raindrop, rotate, and many other custom options you can tinker around with. The touchpad has a faint blue eagle in it and picks up light, making it almost seem like it's glowing in certain light angles, which looks great. And the touchpad itself is nice and smooth with a matte finish that's great to use. The left and right clicks are built into the solid one-piece touchpad and are not separate standalone buttons below. Packed in the box with the X5 are two booklets that have manufacturer warranty, info, and a user guide. There's also a USB flash drive included with 8GB of storage that comes with utility programs for the machine, and there are also the included power cables. The battery inside of the X5 is a Li-Polymer 94.24WH and comes with a 200-watt AC adapter. While the X5 is on battery with the screen brightness at 0%, its charge, while under basic tasks like documents and web browsing, says it will last for around 4.5 hours. With the screen brightness moved up to around 80%, the expected battery is more around 3.5 hours. Next, checking out the temps of the X5, we can see while under gaming, the surface of the keys in the middle of the device start to get a little bit warm, but as you look over at WASD, things are a little bit cooler. There is also a hotter portion above the keys where the heat starts to build up. As for heat disbursement from the fans, they are channeled out the rear corners, primarily out of the sides, but also out of the rear as well. We pulled out our dB meter and took 3 readings around the device, starting out in front of the X5 and had sound levels at around 44 decibels. Next, we moved our meter closer up in front of the machine and had readings move up to around 50. Finally, we put it right next to the fans to take readings near their exit points and had readings of around 60 decibels. As for our benchmark testing, we started things off with Firestrike and had an overall score of 11,685, which is a pretty good result for this laptop and for Firestrike readings all around. Next, we decided to run Cinebench and we started with OpenGL. We only averaged 59 for the FPS, which I actually think is a bit of an anomaly for this, so I'm actually going to go ahead and tell you to ignore that. Next, we did the CPU test though and had 708 CB, which is more on par and actually a good reading for this processor. You can take a look at the left to see where it compares with other processors as well. Next, we ran Crystal Disk, and we're taking a look at the sequential read and writes. First, for the solid-state drive inside, it had a read speed of 1,537 and a write speed of 1,271, which is very fast and is a very quick drive. As for the hard disk drive inside, that read at 123.1 and had a write speed at 119.7, which is fairly average, maybe a tiny bit below some of the other readings I've seen recently. Next, we decided to jump into real-world testing with some games, starting off with Gears of War 4. We tested it on ultra, high, and on medium. We saw 56, 74, and 84 frames per second, which is pretty good at 3K resolution. The GPU had a temperature of an average of 85 while under testing, but the CPU stayed at a lower temperature of 68 while testing. Next, we decided to run Rise of the Tomb Raider, first on very high with FXAA and averaged 59 FPS. Next, we ran it on very high with SMAA and averaged 55. And then finally, we ran on very high with SSAA at ×2 and averaged 38. The temperatures for the GPU were at 84 degrees while testing, and the CPU was at 67 degrees while testing. And finally, we ran Dirt Rally, first with MSA at ×2, then 4 and 8. We ran it at 96 FPS, 84 FPS, and then finally at 67 FPS. The temperatures of the GPU were at 85 degrees Celsius, and the CPU's temperature was at 68 degrees Celsius. If you're looking to put a personal touch on your machine, be sure to check out our extensive customization options before checkout, including upgrades available to RAM, storage, cooling, overclocking, custom paint, hydro and graphic wraps, laser etching, and much, much more. If there's any portion of the BIOS that you would like to look over closer, be sure to pause the video on any of the BIOS screens that are being scrolled over right now. If not, thank you for checking out our video. Always be sure to check out the product link in the description or leave us a comment down below if you have any questions for us here at Exotic PC. I've been Andrew, thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for future product overviews and reviews.